Nice tune. Nice way to get into the the evening of the new week here this Monday. Welcome everybody to the show. My name is Stuart Davis, a flawed man of God. I'm not a pastor, not a biblical scholar, and I haven't been to seminary. I'm not trying to get you to join my church or donate to any special cause. What I'm here to do is talk about God, talk about Jesus, talk about the Holy Spirit, talk about the Bible, talk about Christianity, talk about a wide variety of different topics, issues, and current events, and give you my perspective on them. One that I think is reflective of your average Christian guy. I've been a Christian all my life, 41 years, non denominational Protestant. I don't subscribe to a particular doctrine or denomination. I'm just in the Word daily, trying to do it better each and every day. Sometimes I'll get it right, but many times I'll get it wrong. No matter what, if you're listening to me stream, if you're hearing my voice on this broadcast, you can take it to the bank that you're getting my honest opinions on whatever it is we're talking about. So, if you are somebody who is new to Christianity, maybe you're not a Christian, you're just trying to figure out what we're all about. What is it with faith? What is it with Jesus that we find so appealing or that we find so holy? Tune in. Tune in. Maybe you will get your questions answered, especially if you're not really interested in getting the perspective of a more professional evangelical or missionary or whatever. Missionaries are great. They hopefully come across more real and honest than I do. But maybe you're not interested in hearing it from the pulpit, so to speak. Maybe it comes off a little bit too professional. Maybe it's maybe seems too much like a sales pitch to you. I don't know. Maybe you're just not comfortable with that. And maybe you're like me and you find all this social media influence to be contrived, put on, maybe not as earnest as they would like you to believe. Maybe you just want to hear it from the guy sitting in the pew next to you who can give you the, hey, been doing it for a while, a long time, and this is what I've learned. This is what I'd like to pass on to you. This is why I think it's valuable. This is why it's my lifestyle. This is why it's my faith. This is why it's the truth. If that's what your speed is, you're going to like it here. You are going to like it here. And hopefully what you get here puts you on a path to salvation in a relationship with God. Reverse that. Relationship with God on a path to salvation. If you're already a Christian and you just enjoy Christian topics and conversations, welcome as well. I think you will like it here as well. We run this very similar to a Wednesday night study group or a Sunday school. It's nice, relaxed, cozy, informal, all these things, community oriented. And with that said, it doesn't matter whether you're new to the faith, we're just searching out what the meaning is behind it, or you have been a Christian forever, you are more knowledgeable and mature in your faith than I am. It doesn't matter. Get in that chat. And you won't be alone because it's already full of some of the viewers. We've got a great group of folks in the chat night in and night out. They tune in, and we'd love for you to be part of that. You by participating in the chat, make this show better. Because I want to hear your opinion and I want to put it out there. What do you believe? What do you think is right? What do you think is wrong? What do you agree with that I'm talking about? What do you disagree with? What is it about what we're talking about or discussing that you might have a unique insight about or some experience in? Or maybe you're just hearing something and you're like, I can give you a bit different direction on that. Put it in the chat and we'll talk about it. I promise you this show right now is small enough that if you're in there, I'm going to read it and I'm going to respond to it. And with that said, let's get into Monday. We got Alex Moore first in. So many streams have been switched back and forth. No, there's only one stream at this time. Only one stream. Mine. It's mine. It's the only one you need. Jenny ELJ, how's it going? Evening, everyone. How are you? And wow, Orange Man already won Iowa. What I think I checked the hat like because I was in between shows because I got the game on in the background, not paying much attention to it, but was watching in between the Bills game and the Bucks game. They said, "Oh, Iowa leans Trump." And that was like 45 minutes ago. They already called it. They hadn't even closed the polls. Hey, it's election season. It's going to be a wild ride, and I'm sure we'll see how that affects the show. I was not streaming when the last election, general general presidential election occurred, and but my friend Nick was, and I remember going to sleep listening to him making some, you know, pretty confident uh predictions that didn't come true. And then it got really difficult for YouTubers between COVID and Trump and the election to have any type of discussion to just approach certain topics. So, look, we're going to talk about what affects us as Christians in whatever environment we're at in. And we're going to take that perspective on it. And if people have a problem with it, they got a problem with it. I'm going to remind everybody this is my thoughts. This is how I'm sifting through and trying to live my life. The more I the more you can see the reflection of the game in the shield. It's pretty funny. Um the older I get, the less really obsessed about politics I get. Like I pay attention to them just to know what's going on. But the more I realize that look, maybe the world's going to hell in a handbasket. Maybe it's getting better. I don't think so. But maybe you know, maybe the doomsday people are correct. Who knows? But you're born with a timer on this life anyway. And this isn't our final destination. So it's more important for us to focus on how we should be behaving as Christians, how we should be trying to influence the world around us by our actions and our faith in all these things than it is to worry about what the world is going to decide to do or is deciding to do regardless. Um, it is what it is. And and this is the thing that I think a lot of people who really get sucked into politics start to forget is your and this is your savior is not going to be a politician. It's not going to be a dude. Humans are going to let you down. All right? They are. You put too much stock into them, they will let you down. King David let his people down to the tune of 75,000 people dead because he was obsessed with some census, right? And he was one of the best of us. We got flaws. And look, I don't think we're ever going to get another one of him, but that's up to God, really. But it's not going to be a Trump. It's not going to be an Obama. It's not going to be a whoever your political person is. It might be any means to an end. They might be better than the other person, better than the alternative. but don't think that they're your lifeline. They're not. They're not. So, that's what I have to say about it. That's really the continue message I'm going to be on here. There are things I agree with about political candidates. There are things I disagree with. Some are better than others. I've, to be open with you, voted for Trump both times, and I was happy with both decisions. As far as as happy as I ever am of voting for politicians who I generally despise in any capacity. No. But yeah, that's odd that he got on that fast. Alex, I'm doing all right. I'm having a good day. We had snow today. We got snow outside. Kids got to see it, got a little bit excited about it. But we didn't get enough for them to really go out and play with it. You mean play in it? You got to have like well over. I think you need like 4 inches. You got to, to me, in my opinion, you got to have enough that it covers the grass so that it just looks like a blanket of snow. And man, we don't have that. But we got some, and it's exciting for them to see it falling. They're off school today for Martin Luther King. So, Thad the man, surprised that with the caucuses in the NFL, you started today, though it seems the caucuses ended early. Yeah, what caucuses? They're done. In the NFL, look, I watch the NFL a little bit more than I used to. I grew up a rabid NFL baseball fan. But you know, they've politicized the NFL so much you know that it's taken away a lot of the escapism. So I pay attention to it in general. There are still some guys that I think are all right and root for them, but it's not. I'm not canceling a stream for. There should be no Monday night playoff football unless it's the Super Bowl, and I still think Super Bowl should be on a Sunday. So, but this whole, I understand the Bills game. It's a safety thing, but they scheduled the game that's currently on. 3 games on Saturday, 3 games on Sunday. Makes perfect sense. I don't know. That's what I have to say about that. Texan Italian is here. Woo! That man says Iowa leans Trump like the Titanic leans towards the front. Which half? Jenny says Trump is Trump. Kind of where I am. I'm my opinion. I'm kind of tired about hearing about him. Wishing him the best though. Don't even vote anyway. Peace and love. I encourage anyone, and I don't know, maybe I encourage everybody as a veteran. That's like one of the very few times I play that card, unless the other times being Veterans Day when I want free lunch. But look, voting is um, a very time honored tradition. And to me, I think civic duty. I don't think, but what I tell people is I'm not saying go out there and vote the lesser of 2 weevils. All right. Go and vote. Just if you don't like either candidate and you don't want to vote for anybody, write in yourself, write in Mickey Mouse. Don't write in any Disney character. I'll take that back. Write in somebody, or whatever, but go through the effort of showing up and saying, "Hey, I'm willing to come here." If somebody gets their act together and becomes a candidate that I can vote for, because I think it shows up. To me, it's the principle of it. I'm not going to come down on anybody for saying for sticking to it. I'm not going to vote. That's fine. It's your prerogative. It's your freedom. But what I do say is, look, it is something that we are able to engage in, and should have some say in what goes on. But whatever. That's all. That's the only time I ever get on my soapbox about service. But I'm saying kind of the same. The whole Trump thing. He to me he let me down in some aspects. I think he handled some things poorly, where he could have been a much better leader and taken the opportunity to make himself to boost his image. And I think he missed an opportunity. I think that there are other candidates capable of doing the job as much as any candidate can, which is. But if he's on the ballot, I'll probably vote for him because current president does have dementia. I mean, and has since he was running for office the last time. He had dementia then. He has it now, obviously, because you don't get rid of it. But he had it. We have a president in brain death. Strike me on that, YouTube. Blaine's not streaming. Very sad. Community group in 15 minutes. Sounds like communism. What's going on, Blaine? Manuel Osorio, hello. How's it going? Alex Moore, you're watching. Timcast teased DeSantis for currently losing to Nikki Haley. Ugh. Blaine says they're finally hitting 35 today and warming up. Ha! That's a nice balmy temperature. Alex says no snow, not even a tease, just very cold, depressing rain. Oh, yeah, cold rain. I don't mind it in the fall, but PJ O'Rourke wrote a book called Parliament of Whores about Congress. He ended it by saying, in a democracy, the whores are us. In a democracy, we are Caesar. We should be responsible. Yeah. Congress, I have unique contempt for, because those folks are that is a mob of crooks and criminals. Alex Moore writing in Ferris Manis. Come on. It's not a bad choice. But personally, I would go with Vulcan over him. He's going to I'd be more worried about Ferris Manis mandating people get all mechanical augmentation, which I'm against. Writing in none of the above from Thad the Man. That's a good one too. I like that one. Alex said kids are watching the Bucks game, so you're on my phone. Go Bucks. It was great watching the Cowboys get destroyed. Sad that, I have family that's Cowboys fans, but watching sports commentary today was a great train wreck of hilarity, because they all had the Cowboys winning. And then he says, I'm the king of writing in Dwayne Elizondo, Mountain Dew, Hubert Camacho. Oh, man. Duh. That'll work, too. He's probably a better candidate. I mean, he should try to give the plants what they crave. Texan Italian, I got a tiny amount of snow that melted, getting roads wet, now supposed to freeze overnight. Probably late start for work. Hey, just be careful, guys, out there traversing it. Talking with my son today, I was just like, hey, look, snow. Don't get nervous about it. That'll make you even worse driver if you're nervous and you're driving. Respect it. I'm a motorcycle rider. I don't have a motorcycle anymore because the people are. It's kind of the same thing. You respect the danger, you respect the perils that are around you, and but if you do that, you set yourself up for success and you'll be fine. If you get nervous, you're increasing the risk. So just be safe, guys. I don't want to lose any of you guys due to snow. Snow's supposed to be enjoyed. Thad the Man, I was convinced Biden had to go when he gave the red speech. Oh, golly, did that one get memory hold? I'd totally forgotten about that too, but Blaine's got shorts on. You always have shorts on. MR's here. Was my first day today. I'm beat. Just popping in to say hey, and I'm going to bed. Get some rest, sir. Near Nath, woo! 19 this morning, 23 now. What are we at right now? hang on, let me check for current temperature here. It's probably around the 30s. 31. 31 in flurries. 31 in flurries. Emmanuel said, I'm more of an Imperial Fist fan myself. I love Rogel Dorn. Love me some Black Templars. Hail the hero of Hell's Reach. Yes. My buddy who gave me the shield. For Christmas. He's been reading Deliverance Lost, which is ahead of my reading list for Horus Heresy. And one of the Primarchs I am very interested in reading more about is Corvus Corax, because he's so emo, right? He gets that thing. And he's telling me, he goes, oh yeah, well, he gets it honestly, basically, as he's reading it. So I'm very interested in reading Deliverance Lost and getting more oh yeah, well. Joined in mid 40K combo, immediately here for it. Yeah, so very interested in hearing more about it. I need to get back into reading. I've just been lost in the sauce a bit. Thinking of do it. It's going to the polls in and of itself is kind of an experience. Even my county is dead red county next to the dyed dark blue of the capital of Virginia and Richmond. It's a major city in the United States. It's blue as can be. But you go in there and you've got the Republicans have got a tent and the Democrats have got a tent, and they both try to like, hey, you want to get the sample ballot or whatever. But just walking in there and just looking around and seeing how it all goes together, and then walking up and saying, hey, I've got these choices, and you can do the big X through it, right in, put it in there, and you can tell them. And then you can say whatever you want. You can be polite. You can be quiet. You could say, you could walk right past them and ignore them. You can say, excuse me, I already know who I'm voting for. Or you could say, hey, I'm going to tell you, you're all a bunch of criminals and crooks, and you better stop supporting them. I said, lock in and full send. Carl said, just a little snow and ice today. It's more than look, I'm going to be grateful for what I have, but it's not enough. You mean Pokemon go to the polls? I missed that one. The polls? You mean the light pole next to my mailbox? Guys, disappointing me. All right, so base Polish people. Yeah, when you go to the polls, it means going to talk to the base Polish people. We don't make jokes about them anymore because they seem to have just a sliver of sanity left, which is more than I can say for any other Western country in the world right now. Oh, that's right. We just had a special election. We worked them. It was fine. That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah. Yeah. I ran into Garen Shipley, who is a political guy around here, and he is also a 40K guy, which is why we got the talking. And but because of that, striking up a conversation, 40K or whatever, he's a really decent dude to talk to. I followed him on Twitter, and so that's when I found out about the special election stuff. Anyway, and I had a whole bunch of other stuff I was going to talk about, and then there we go. Well, I'll just pack that stuff away and save it for another day. I had a really good. Here, I'll read Dad's really quick. What I'm telling them is I'm voting for the guy who doesn't have the people outside the polling place. I despise those people. They're beneath me. What I got today or yesterday that was really great was pastor at the church listening to a sermon. He's reading from Amplified Translation, which we do read from here from time to time. We do read from here from time to time. In fact, when we move away from the poetry side of things, we'll probably go right back to it because I like the context that it adds into it. So I was just like, he goes, I'm going to read from the Amplified Translation today. I almost shout out, yes, based and amplified pilled. But message yesterday was really good. And it was talking about tithing, which is a difficult topic. To discuss because it's talking about money. It's talking about money. It's talking about your money and giving your money to the church, which is a sensitive topic, right? It's a sensitive topic for a lot of people. Some of you, maybe it doesn't. I mean, y'all give willingly and freely, and you don't have any issues or qualms with it. But I tell you, it is a difficult thing to approach, but done very well. Done very well. I think it's something that needs to be brought up occasionally, once or twice a year at least, to remind people that tithing is good. It's something I'm bad at. I'll be open and honest. It's something I'm bad at, which is stupid for me to be bad at it because I'm a heavily blessed person, or at least I view myself as a heavily blessed person. But I was gonna say anyway, they did a great job delivering it, and it made me think about it because they were talking about how the Old Testament is very set, 10%. Give the best, give all the thing, and the New Testament talks about um, giving to God, but giving joyously and everything. And he didn't because the topic was around tithing and giving and everything and the joy of giving. It's better to give than to receive, and those things, which are true. But what it also got me thinking of was the dichotomy between the Old Testament and the New Testament. Why the New Testament exists? Why Jesus coming and doing more than just dying on the cross for our sins, but teaching us and putting these parables together and performing these miracles. The whole what that accomplished and the purpose, I feel like the purpose was for that is that we've read through Leviticus and we've talked about these other things. Uh, the rules that established Israel, the covenant with God, the agreement. Look, I'm going to bless you heavily, but here are your rules for regulating. 10 commandments, all that stuff. There are those things. But what people forgot, it seemed, often, but it seemed to be just so ingrained in the culture in Israel or with the Jewish people was that from the Pharisees, from the priests and everything, you're getting just the rules and not the spirit behind the rules. The tithing wasn't a commandment because you have to. The commandment was you do it because you want to. You're good to your neighbor not because you have to, but because you want to. The rules are there to remind you how you should be, how your mind should be, what your mindset would be, not to command you to do something. You're not to do it. But if you lose the purpose behind it and how that's supposed to shape how you look at the world, how you look at the people around you, then you've lost the point of what God is trying to describe to you as good. Because he used some other ways of some other examples of it. It's like, look, thou shalt cannot commit adultery. But Jesus said, if you've I don't know if it's Jesus, Peter, might have been Peter, but if you look lustfully at a woman, you've already done it in your heart. Difference there. You can take the rule and say, well, as long as I don't, go through with it, I'm fine. Whereas the clarification you get, which you really shouldn't need, but we do, because we're all like this, or most of us are like this at least. The clarification is, hey, no, it's not a it's not a I can walk up to this line and just not pass it. The clarification is, if you're playing that game, you're already in a mindset that is sinful. You're toying with the idea of disobeying God, which means your head's not in the right place. And if your head's not in the right place, it's sinful. Doesn't mean you're condemned. It doesn't mean you're condemned, but it means you're out of sync. It's out of sync with what God says is right. There are multitudes of examples of this. But when we get to the point in where the Jewish people are at the onset of the Gospels and the birth of Christ, the culture is so much of, we've got the rules. And now we're going to, and the guys running the rules, because, great segue into this, because we were talking about politics beforehand. It had become a political game almost. The people, or the ruling class, which was the priesthood and the scholars and whatnot, they would be like, okay, well, we can build on this and make it easier for us to do what we want, and easier for us to excuse our own behavior. And part of that, there were a lot of reasons why Christ was rocking the boat when he started basically speaking the truth. But one of it is, these guys are wrong. These guys shouldn't be doing this. It's not about the rules. It's about knowing where the guidelines are, knowing where the guardrails are and why they're there. And that you shouldn't, if you find yourself approaching them, that's your warning. That where the ideal is, you don't ever have to worry about the guardrails, because you're never getting close to them. You're straight down, you're straight ahead. And understanding that you're never going to be going straight down the road. But because of Jesus and his sacrifice and his grace, patience, love, for all that stuff, we don't have to worry about not being perfect. But we should always be striving to be better. The moment you think that you've got it all figured out is the moment you've got it all wrong. Because you won't. And we have that today. Though instead of on the more strict legalistic side of things, where we say, hey, look, here's the rules, we have people trying to pull it all down. I don't want the guardrails to get there. And they try to say that Jesus pulled the guardrails down. Why would he do that? Number one, because the things that you're promoting are because you want it to be right. You want it to be good. You can't make something be good. You can't make an act good just because you want it to be. That's you letting Satan in. That's you being selfish. That's you turning your back on things instead of just going, how do I get myself in a better place? But for whatever reason, other than selfishness or some sort of wildly misunderstood reason of wanting to reach people or hating the idea that some people are going to fail. They want to move these goalposts. They want to remove the guardrails and say, no, no, it's okay. No, actually, they never say this. You can't. I mean, for the same people who accuse everybody of gaslighting, gaslight everybody about it. It's almost a 1984 approach to the Bible. We've always been at war with Eurasia. Another reason why I think it's important to have some place to go read the Bible. Read the Bible yourself. Come on a stream and talk about it. That's what I like. And that's why I thought that this was a cool project and a project that I didn't see anybody else doing. As big as YouTube is, and I'm sure somebody else is doing it, but I could not find anybody else doing it. Of course, who knows? Maybe people can't find me doing it on YouTube. You guys have. That's great. But because of that, and it didn't seem like the airwaves were flooded with it. I thought it was an endeavor that I could undertake, and maybe I make an impact. Maybe I don't. Maybe not a large impact. I think that with you guys, I think listening to some of you guys' response, and how much y'all enjoy this stream means I'm making enough of an impact that it's more than worth it. So thank you guys. Thank you guys for communicating that. And yeah, I get all wistful about it. Blaine says all pastors pass the plate before the tithe talk. Passing after is for jet owning pastors. He was selling that jet for so cheap, I just had to buy it. Kenneth Copeland, actually. What a creepy interview that was. Super creepy. Jenny ELJ, please don't forget to like the live stream. Yes, thumbs up. Give the thumbs up, like the live stream. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and dead in the middle of the stream. But share the stream. Be great. But like it, leave a comment, be in the chat. It doesn't matter. I'm just glad. Like I said, I get enough feedback from you guys that I know that it's awesome. But if you want to help the reach, y'all can do better. Now y'all can do better. Y'all can do better than I can at putting it out there. Because I will chase the algorithm sometimes on topics, but not often, because that's not what this channel's about. My son says hit the notification bell, so you know when I'm streaming, but it's around the same time every day. All right, let's get into what we actually came here to talk about, which is the word. I tell them that. If you don't stop, I'm gonna make you go to bed. All right. Let me pull it up. Present the Bible. Psalm 55. Pull it over here. All right. Wait a minute. Okay. All right, Psalm 55. Trust in God concerning the treachery of friends. This sounds like something coming from David, because he had to deal with this. To the chief musician with stringed instruments, a contemplation of David. Give ear to my prayer, O God, and do not hide yourself from my supplication. Attend to me and hear me. I am restless in my complaint and moan noisily because of the voice of the enemy, because of the oppression of the wicked, for they bring down trouble upon me, and in wrath they hate me. My heart is severely pained within me, and the terrors of death have fallen upon me. Fearfulness and trembling have come upon me, and horror has overwhelmed me. So I said, oh, that I had wings like a dove. I would fly away and be at rest. Indeed, I would wander far off and remain in the wilderness. Selah. I would hasten my escape from the windy storm and tempest. Destroy, O Lord, and divide their tongues, for I have seen violence and strife in the city. Day and night they go around it on its walls. Iniquity and trouble are also in the midst of it. Destruction is in the midst. Oppression and deceit do not depart from its streets. For it is not an enemy who reproaches me, then I could bear it, nor is it one who hates me who has exalted himself against me, then I could hide from him. But it was you, a man, my equal, my companion, and my acquaintance. We took sweet counsel together and walked to the house of God in the throng. Let death seize them. Let them go down alive into hell, for wickedness is in their dwellings and among them. As for me, I will call upon God, and the Lord shall save me. Evening and morning and noon. Evening and morning and at noon. I will pray and cry aloud, and he shall hear my voice. He has redeemed my soul in peace from the battle that was against me, for there were many against me. God will hear and afflict them, even he who abides from of old. Selah. Because they do not change, therefore they do not fear God. He has put forth his hands against those who were at peace with him. He has broken his covenant. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet they were drawn swords. Cast your burden on the Lord, and he shall sustain you. He shall never permit the righteous to be moved. But you, O God, shall bring them down to the pit of destruction. Bloodthirsty and deceitful men shall not live out half their days. But I will trust in you. What's going on, Veritex? Lucifer said, hello. Did someone say my name? I did, yes. And I think you're alluded to in this, or at least your namesake, Lucy, referred to in this stream or in this psalm. How's it going, man? Look, like I said, snow on the ground, can't complain. All right. Let's see. First off, let me try to find out if this is clearly it. Psalm 55. Is anybody? I don't see who's. All right, I don't see anything specific. Anybody named specifically? I'm devil in name only, I promise. I've read your comments. That checks out. Lucy, you're good. All right. So nobody's named in particular. So I don't know of anybody we can pull out a verse and be like, hey, this is the guy. What we do know, though, is David had a lot of enemies inside of his court. So we know that's that's the motivating force behind this. Give ear to my prayer, O Lord, and do not hide yourself from my supplication. Attend to me and hear me. So this is very similar. How's it going, Dresden? This is very much in line with most of David's Psalms when, he opens it up with, God, please listen to me. This is me reaching out to you. And don't turn your back on me. This is just part and parcel. This is how he starts things, much like how Peter starts his letters. I'm restless in my complaint and moan noisily because of the voice of the enemy, because of the oppression of the wicked, for they bring down trouble upon me, and in wrath they hate me. Now, normally, We're thinking about outside enemies. Nothing feels worse than betrayal. Nothing feels worse than somebody who is friends with you only because it serves some purpose. Because they're just riding on your coattails, riding on your back long enough for you to outlive your usefulness and then cut you up, right? It it's awful. It involves anger, sadness, frustration, sleeplessness. When you're close to somebody and they hurt you, and it's a true betrayal, not because y'all had a disagreement. That can cause a lot of the same feelings, but this particularly, not because y'all had a disagreement over something or whatever. No, because they weren't ever your friend to begin with, or stopped being your friend as soon as it became expedient for them to get something out of not being your friend. Which you could always say, well, they never were your friend to begin with. I'm not going to split the hairs over that, but y'all know where I'm coming from. That is deeply upsetting. So you understand later on why this is such a big deal. David's a little dramatic, but I think that's partly because he's honest about his feelings and he's open with sharing his feelings. So he's pouring his heart out here. Which if you're talking to God, is a good thing to do. God can see into your heart, but you can be more honest with yourself if you acknowledge these things to him. And it helps you move. It helps you better pray and better understand God and work on yourself when you do those things. When you can be honest with yourself. Because while God knows the truth, if you can't be honest with yourself, you're not going to be honest with him when you're talking. At least not with your intentions. It could be when people supported Absalom over him. Yes. Could be then. It could be Joab and some of the things he did. There were certainly times where he decided he was going to do his own thing because he thought he knew better. He seemed to be Joab seemed to be more in love with the idea of the nation of Israel more than doing what God wanted, being a holy nation, just to be like, hey, this is my country. More of a nationalist than a true believer. I mean, a true faithful man of God. Nerneat's got a lot more knowledge on this before. Like I said, he is the brackets officials and brackets ombudsman of this show. Lucifer says, oftentimes I find that there are people who are friends of you only so that they can gain what they think you have or know you have. Yes, there are people like that out there, unfortunately. And it's difficult to think. I don't understand the heart of people behind that. Right? I don't understand the conscience that they have, because that would hurt me a lot. Like, I don't know how I could do it. Maybe they don't know how they get there. Thad Man said betrayers are put in the 9th ring of hell, the Nineth ring of hell. Gotcha, Thad. So the last ring of hell where the bad one is. I don't know how that one works. I don't know, because the Catholics have got it all mapped out. I just don't know it. My heart is severely pained within me, and the terrors of death have fallen upon me. Fearfulness and trembling have come upon me, and horror has overwhelmed me. So I said that I had wings like a dove, I would fly away and be at rest. Indeed, I would wander far off and remain in the wilderness, Selah. I would hasten my escape from the windy storm and tempest. Yes, we've felt those things. We've been in those situations where we've been upset about a situation. Look, if I could just get away from this and hide and just and just let it all be done, then I would just like to escape it all. Let me fly off and not have to deal with it. And I know that you guys have had that feeling before. Even if you're somebody like me who likes to confront things, there are just some times where you're just confronted. It's just like, "Look, I just want it to be, I just want to get away. I just want to be alone. I want to be free of all this and not have to trust people and not have to care and not ugh, not put myself out there where I'm vulnerable to this kind of betrayal." Oh, Milton and Dante. I thought Catholics believe in different levels of hell, though, don't they? I thought that's dogma with them. The seven rings of hell are Dante's Inferno and named after the seven deadly sins. In truth, hell has no rings, at least not in scripture. Yeah, I don't know, Lucy, if that's something that's in the Apocrypha. I don't know. We're gonna read the Apocrypha on this show once we're done with the Bible. We'll dig at the Catholics. But yeah, I didn't I always thought that it was dogma that there were spurgatory. Spurgatory, Spergatory. But he's that's what he's driving at here. It's just like this whole first part is talking about this is difficult for me to talk about. He even takes a long time getting to the point. This is difficult for me to talk about. I hate it. I hate dealing with it. I'm deeply upset. It's causing me to sleep. I'd rather just fly off and be done with it and not have to worry about anything. Destroy, O Lord, and divide their tongues, for I have seen violence and strife in the city. Day and night they go around on its walls. Iniquity and trouble are also in the midst of it. Destruction is in its midst. Oppression and deceit do not depart from its streets. Well, look, David is the good guy here. So he's beseeching God to stop this and punish these people, or break them apart, break apart their friendships or their alliances. Probably more alliances than alliances, um, and have them sputter off into insignificance because all they're doing is causing trouble. All they're doing is causing strife, violence, destruction, iniquity, trouble, oppression, and deceit. All bad things, right? Because that's what you get when you're serving your own selfish interests. Emmanuel says, yes, it does indeed bring you closer to becoming a corn berserker. It can make you angry, make you very angry. Emmanuel Soria said, what is the Apocrypha? Like edited version of the Bible? So this is a point of contention between Catholics and Protestants, and I don't know where the Orthodoxy lands on it. I've never asked. The Catholics accuse us of taking books of the Bible out. The Protestants accuse the Catholics of adding books of the Bible in. The Catholic Bible has more books in it. The Maccabees, probably the most famous of all of them. There are books in the Catholic Bible that are not present in the Protestant one because while that's a whole topic for another time, because that's going to require me bringing people on who are more knowledgeable about that than I am. But eventually, it surrounds somewhat of Martin Luther going, hey, these books, they're not legit enough to be in the Bible. I think. And I could be wrong about that as well. There you go. Lucy's talking about it. Bring chaos into this here into this. That's hearsay or heresy. The books of the church threw out because they didn't like them. Depends. The Catholic Church does like them. Enoch too. Yeah. Oh, Pseudocria. I can't pronounce that word correctly. Anyway, that's a big, if you're talking about big contentions between Catholics and Protestants, and the Orthodox gets mixed in there as well, it has to do with iconography, the authority of the Pope, the Apocrypha, apostolic succession. Things about that if we all believe what we're reading here and follow it, I don't think ultimately determine your salvation status. Could be wrong. Maybe I'll get up there and God goes, "Ha! You didn't view the Pope as the vicar of Christ. Can't be here." Yes. Oh yeah. It is big. It is a very big theology squabble. All. Look, it's big. It's big between Protestants, denominations, high church Protestants and low church Protestants on thing. It's basically one big theology squabble. I'm very libertarian with this, and I've heard of it before. If we all believe in the same God, we should worship him with all our hearts. But I get it. Tribalism. Some of it just seems of form. And again, we talk about guardrails and stuff like that. There are, I think people have very good reasons for thinking that these are important. I think that they are important, but how important are they? We at least get the very good entertainment in Enoch. We get very good. Psalm is a little bit different tone, but reading from Genesis up to Chronicles and Job and some of the other ones, it's been great entertainment and lessons learned. It's within our blood, yeah. Lucy says Pope can kick rocks as far as I'm concerned, especially this current one. I'm with you on the current one. All right, get back into it. We still got about an hour. We still got another psalm to read, and I'm not even done this one. For it is not an enemy who reproaches me, then I could bear it. Nor it is one who hates me, who has exalted himself against me, because I can hide from him. But it was you, a man, my equal, my companion, and my acquaintance. We took sweet counsel together and walked to the house of God and the throne. We were all folks who probably relate to this in some aspect. But what he's talking about is this is not an enemy from without. This is when he really kind of really reveals it for what it's true. I've been betrayed. You are against me. If you were on the other side of the battlefield, I could understand. I could deal with it. I can rationalize it. I understand it. But not my friend, not a confidant of mine, not somebody who I went to church next to. Church betrayal is a big thing. I know it because I have family members who have experienced it deeply. And it hurts. Especially coming from somebody who is a leader in the church. And seeing them abandon the values that they stand on the pulpit and preach about. I know a pastor who can preach a great sermon, but is too weak of a man. This is personally too weak of a man to stand for his own principles, or just another opportunist. Don't know which one's worse. Explains what happened in Miami. Stop it. Oh, man, we really need to talk about that. Better the enemy you know than the backstabber with a knife in your spine. Look, you can't be betrayed. The only people who can betray you are the people you trust. That's the awful thing about it. Let death seize them. Let them go down alive to hell, for wickedness is in their dwelling and among them. Anger, rage at this, go to hell. In essence, the verse 15, go to hell, you go straight to hell because of what you did. And as for me, I shall call upon God, and the Lord shall save me evening, morning, and at noon. I will pray and cry aloud, and he shall hear my voice. He has redeemed my soul in peace from the battle that was against me, but there are many against me. God will hear and afflict them, and even he who abides from of old. That's what I think is talking about Satan. Because they do not change, therefore they do not fear God. I'm vindicated. I'm in the right. I'm here doing the right thing. My whole kingdom, or my whole legacy, is built on the fact that I am a faithful man. From the point where I was a lowly shepherd to where I was yelling, I was teasing Goliath before I struck him down because I knew God had my back, to trying to stick by Saul, even though he was a troubled king and tried to kill me and do all these other things. All this time, I have been serving the Lord. This is David. I've been serving the Lord. So I know that if you are against me, you're actually against him. And so he is going to side with me, and he is going to punish you big time. Because if you ain't afraid of him, you're not going to change. And you are lost. He has put forth his hands against those who were at peace with him. He has broken his covenants. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet they were drawn swords. More imagery here for the betrayer. Allies, but not really. Break my allegiance, break my treaty, break my agreement, break my friendship, bonds of brotherhood. Cast your burden on the Lord, and he shall sustain you. He shall never permit the righteous to be moved. But you, O God, shall bring them down to the pit of destruction. Bloodthirsty and deceitful men shall not live out half their days, but I will trust in you. Seems very pointed. Very pointed. Church hurt is, Emmanuel says, church hurt is real, and it makes you hella jaded. It wants you to bring holy wrath on them, but it happens, and it's up to us to be wary about it. Yeah, it do be that way sometimes. People don't think it be that way, but it do sometimes. Sometimes. And I tell you, it hurts and it can make you jaded, but it's on you to get over that. It's on us to help people get over church hurt. But ultimately, your decisions last for you. Do not base your faith on what a man or woman, on what people represent to you. See it for yourself. Believe in God. Read the scripture. You'll see there's the difference. We make mistakes. We don't present the perfect truth the way he does. So don't put it on us. Don't put your salvation on their backs. It's not going to save you. In fact, it makes it more likely that you're going to go down with the ship. All right. Psalm 56. To the chief musician set to the silent dove in distant land. Sounds pretty, but I don't know it. A miktam of David when the Philistines captured him in Gath. And be merciful to me, O God, for a man would swallow me up for man would swallow me up. Fighting all day has. Hang on, let me start from the beginning. We screwed that up. Be merciful to me, O God, for man would swallow me up. Fighting all day, he oppresses me. My enemies would hound me all day, for there are many who fight against me, O Most High. Whenever I am afraid, I will trust in you. In God, I will praise his word. In God, I have put my trust. I will not fear. What can flesh do to me? All day they twist my words. All their thoughts are against me for evil. They gather together. They hide. They mark my steps. When they lie in wait for my life. Hang on. All day they twist my words. All their thoughts are against me for evil. They gather together. They hide. They mark my steps when they lie in wait for my life. Shall they escape by iniquity? In anger, cast down the peoples, O God. You number my wanderings. Put tears into your bottle. Are they not in your book? When I cry out to you, then my enemies will turn back. This I know, because God is for me. In God I will praise his word. In the Lord I will praise his word. In God I have put my trust. I will not be afraid. What can man do to me? Vows made to you are binding upon me, O God. I will render praises to you, for you have delivered my soul from death. Have you not kept my feet from falling, that I may walk before God in the light of the living? That's actually ends with a question mark, but I think it's rhetorical. Rhetorical. Is it a mockingbird? This is, Psalm 23. Yea, through I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. We talk about that a lot, and men going into dangerous situations. This speaks to the soldier in me, because while we were talking about the betrayer in the last psalm, now we're talking more about the known enemy, the known opponent. And they ate me, at least honestly it seems. And they're after me, and they want to kill me, and they want to do evil things against me. This is my life, and I'm scared until I put my faith in you, God. Man would swallow me up. You can be merciful for me. Fighting all day, he oppresses me. My enemies would hound me all day. There are many who fight against me, O Most High. David has many enemies. We have many obstacles, many things that happen in our life trying to trip us up. Many people, maybe. Yeah, I'm an Iraq veteran, Army. Many people, maybe, who are against you. If you're in one of those places where maybe you're not a popular person and everybody's trying to get you in trouble because you're, I don't know. I know people who've been in places like that where it just seems like everybody's just trying to get you yeeted out of there because they don't like what you represent, which is a Christian. Thank you. Whenever I'm afraid, I will trust in you. I will praise his word. In God, I will put my trust. I will not fear. What can flesh do to me? You can kill me. You can destroy my body. But man can't touch another man's soul. This is the whole thing. Like, if the worst that they can do to me cannot affect me in the hereafter. Only deal with the world, what's part of the world. The flesh, not the spirit. All day they twist my words, all their thoughts against me for evil. They gather together, they hide, they mark my steps, they lie in wait for my life. Shall they escape by iniquity and anger? Cast down the peoples, O Lord. They're after me, protect me, kill them for me. God does this at times. That's in scripture. He's done this at times. Strike them down. You number my wanderings, put my tears into your bottle. Are they not in your book? When I cry out to you, then my enemies will turn back. This I know, because God is for me. In God I will praise his word. In the Lord I will praise his word. In God I have put my trust. I will not be afraid. What can man do to me? This is a little unique, I think, in the fact that, David's like, look, I know that I'm anointed. I know that I'm in the right. I know I'm doing what you want. I know that these people are marked for death. We should have killed them all when they when Joshua was pushing them out of the promised land. So I know I'm in the right here. I know you're gonna have my back. Thank you. I trust in you. I trust you, God. You've got me. This is what makes this is one of the such great things about David is how earnestly he trusts. Earnestly he trusts. Vows made to you are binding upon me, O God. I will render praises to you, for you have delivered my soul from death. Have you not kept my feet from falling, that I may walk before God in the light of the living? It's a nice closure out there. I'll honor my word. Praise you because you bless me so much. Again, this is a good psalm for people who are facing a lot of adversity from the outside. Outward adversity. God's got you. Right? They can't get you. It might hurt you here. They can't get that, but that's temporary. That's temporary. They are not more powerful than God. Understand that. All right. That'll take us to the end of the show. Right? It's good conversation tonight. Good way to start the week off. Good Monday. Great Monday stream. Great any day stream. But I like it. I like it. It's starting things on the right foot. Everybody, a lot of people had things to say. So thank you you're welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Alex, Lucy, Emmanuel, Thad. Nernaeth, Dresden, Jenny, Blaine, Carl, Chad. We had a Thad, now we have Chad. Chad and I will be playing Project Zomboid in a few moments. Texan Italian. And that's it. Like I said, good stream. Good stream. You guys, again, a lot of content to the show, a lot of context, a lot of side discussions, way we can talk about things and orient them towards faith, towards God, to hopefully improve our own doings and our own selves. Like I said, a little bit of selfishness here. I get a lot out of you guys as well. Not just y'all making the show better, but making me think, making me be introspective. Introspection's always a great thing, because you can bring that makes those are things that are often easier to bring to God. At least to me, at least that fits my personality. Whatever it is, y'all make it better for me. Y'all make it better for the stream. So thank you, as always, for all the things that you do. For everybody who is listening to the show, not participating in chat because you don't want to or you're not able to, that's great. I encourage everybody to, but understand, I'm just glad that I'm most glad you get something out of it that you can tune into night in and night out. For everybody who's catching me on replay, thanks for tuning in, and I hope to catch you live sometime. We'll be back on tomorrow night. We should anyway. That's the plan. God willing, we'll be back doing this. In the meantime, everybody, have a good night and God bless.